And so it grows. The interest in world championship boxing, the fact that we get to see the best fighting the best. And the cards and the hits just keep on coming. Because in the works presently for a possible February 22nd fight date, Turki Al-Sheikh is looking to put together another stacked card for a RIYADH season event. It's been going so well, and possibly headlining this coming February 22nd will be the likes of heavyweights, IBF champion Daniel Dynamite DuBOIS taking on Joseph Parker, former WBO heavyweight champion. This is a quality matchup, and we should be looking forward to something like this. Let's talk about this potential fight on the horizon. The heavyweights. You know, we always get excited when we see them. But when they are prime heavyweights, guys fighting each other when they should, then it becomes a highly anticipated situation. And we may get that if the deal goes through in negotiations between Camp DuBOIS and Camp Parker. And according to an article from Boxing News 24, link will be in the description box, DuBOIS and Parker are being looked at as a possible headliner for a stacked card in RIYADH season, February 22nd, 2025. Also accompanied on that card in negotiations is the rematch between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. Could you imagine the RIYADH season event for that date with those two matches? I mean, outstanding. RIYADH season is really placing itself head and shoulders above the rest of the boxing world. When you look at the events and the participants that are on these cards, it's just outstanding. And when you look at Daniel Dubois, the IBF champion, he is battling through a series of bouts which has seen him ascend to championship caliber qualifications, and he's still being overlooked, people. They're talking about Joshua and Fury. They're talking about Joshua could still come back and be a champion again. They're not acknowledging that this man totally pasted Anthony Joshua well inside the distance. And smart boxing pundits are looking at his victory over AJ and saying that AJ should stay far away from this young man. It's his time. And he called himself, Dubois, the King Slayer. Yeah! And he's done it very well. But just to sort of mirror his story is Joseph Parker. Now, Parker has been a heavyweight mainstay of this present era, even having faced the likes of Anthony Joshua himself several years ago. However, his recent victories over the likes of Deontay Wilder and getting up off of the canvas a couple of times against Zhilei Zhang, you have to respect his resolve, even coming back from a loss against Joe Joyce. So Parker has a story as well, and he was positioning himself for a potential rematch with Joshua before Joshua got the opportunity against Dubois. Parker has made some changes, and he has turned a tremendous curve in his career and understands that to be able to maintain activity and to continue to just work at it in the gym, his hard work is paying off. So for him to get in there and have the opportunity against the likes of Daniel Dubois is telling us something that we really need to acknowledge. Now, the Boxing 24 news article goes on to state that a fight between IBF heavyweight champion Daniel Dubois and WBO interim champ Joseph Parker is planned for a giant RIYADH season card on February 22nd. The fight isn't official yet, but is reportedly in the works. Fresh off his fifth round destruction of Anthony Joshua on September 21st, Daniel Dubois, who's now 22-2 with 21 KOs, could be an exciting matchup against a crafty 32-year-old Parker, who's 35-3 with 23 KOs. This fight will show whether the 27-year-old Dubois can deal with a slick heavyweight who uses movements, angles, and short bursts to steal rounds. Parker has changed his fighting style, becoming a slick fighter since losing to Joe Joyce in 2022. Joyce will need to take the fight to Parker and battle hard for 3 minutes of each battle hard for 3 minutes of each round to win. Parker's last two opponents, Zhilei Zhang and Deontay Wilder, failed to fight hard and allowed him to outwork him. Now, the article mentioned Joyce, but it was supposed to say Dubois will need to take the fight to Parker. Also being planned for the February 22nd card is Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol, as I mentioned. This is something, and you know that even the fight on the undercards of the co-main are going to be high caliber and quality. But what we are also seeing through this entire process is the shaking out of what the division has to offer, what boxing's divisions have to offer when it comes down to quality fighters facing one another. The pool is starting to dry because there are still guys who are running away. But when you talk about the likes of Joseph Parker, he's going to be there and he's going to go for his opportunity. When you talk about guys like Daniel Dubois, he's going to be there and he's going to go for it all because, as he stated, he feels that this is his era. And he may be very well correct, especially the way he bombs people out of there. And he's not just a mindless bombing fighter. With his coach that is behind him, he can excel to greater heights than where he even presently finds himself. And what I like about it all, Don Charles is not only a coach and trainer, but he's a teacher and somewhat of a psychologist, because he's able to understand the mind of fighters, and he's able to give the men that he works with the ability to assess what's in front of them, the landscape, to survey it, so to speak, and put into action what's needed to be successful. And when fighters believe in their trainers and coaches, what they share with them, the merits that they bring, they can have great success. And Dubois has that. I'm not saying that Joseph Parker can't beat him. It's a quality heavyweight fight, regardless of who you roll with to go into this fight. But you can believe that Mr. Charles is going to have Dubois prepared to deal with Joseph Parker. Because Parker has lost several times. And though he may have modified what he does presently from what he did in the past, he's still Joseph Parker. And Don Charles would willingly be able to put his charge in a preparation stage to deal with him and be successful. I love this about the RIYADH season events. These are quality matchups that you just have to take your hat off and celebrate and applaud. And this is one more event that we can look forward to in that regard. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Leave comments. Let's discuss further. This RIYADH season event slated for February 22nd, 2025 is looking like gangbusters, and I can't wait. If the year can kick off with a heavyweight fight like that, what does the rest have before us to await? My goodness. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.